everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rainbow.
And we are discovering our hidden beauty with a ring light. This is part 2 of our look at ring lights. This very common sort of equipment people might have at home. If they're streaming, Instagramming, TikToking, you know, that kind of thing. You can turn your little bedroom, your desk, wherever you are, into a small home studio. And one of the best things to have is a ring light. As I said, I think these probably became much more popular and sold in much larger numbers in the COVID years that we're kind of coming out of, right? Especially 2020, 2021, people were working, studying,
working from home,
socializing at home, and a lot of people got in to kind of doing stuff and putting it on the internet. Did you get a ring light at that time? Do you have a ring light at home?
No, because I don't do work online that needs my face. I just use my voice.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you don't really need it for that. No, I didn't get one either. I did have to do some teaching from home using a computer, but I just kind of used a couple of table lamps and just kind of put them on both sides.
Oh, you look nice. I just use natural lighting, like face the window, you know.
That's a good way to do it too. But of course, if you want to have a smaller amount of space, a ring light would be useful. You'd also want to have a good internet camera, right? If you don't have one on your computer, you got to get a good one of those. And a microphone, I think, too, is probably a good idea. Either one of those or one of the more traditional, like radio.
Oh my gosh, honestly, I just use my AirPods.
Okay, or you can use your AirPods too. Yep, absolutely. But people, sometimes they get into it and they start to look at ooh, look, their camera's so clear, and oh, the sound is so good. And so
professionals.
They start to upgrade, but I think a ring light is one of the first things you might want to get. So we're going to find out more about them in our article starting now.
By the 1960s, fashion photographers were using ring lights to get clean, clear light for their shoots. These lights were great at bringing out all the details on a new dress, and they had an interesting side effect. When a ring light was shone on a person's face, the light reflected in their eyes, which made their eyes look extra bright. In recent years, LED ring lights have become popular for making social media videos because of their simplicity, utility, and low price.
So yes, ring lights, popular with YouTubers and TikTokers and internet celebrities and just people streaming.
Anybody, really.
Anyone on a Zoom call these days. But of course, fashion photographers were using them. But really, it was a dentist who was the first one to invent a ring light around a camera to see inside of people's mouths. But that was the 1950s, and this was such a great invention that it soon got the attention of other people who wanted to take beautiful looking pictures. People like fashion photographers. That's right, it says by the 1960s, fashion photographers were using ring lights to get clean, clear light for their shoots. That's a very good point. And of course, less equipment as well, right? And the light can move with the camera because it's on the end of the camera. And that gives the photographer more freedom to get interesting shots and angles and stuff like this. Because fashion photography is about making the clothes and the models look the best that you can in kind of a creative, beautiful, artistic way. Because, of course, we're talking about fashion, which is clothes made in a beautiful, creative, artistic way. Generally, when we talk about fashion, yes, we're talking about very well-designed clothes that are made to just look like art when you wear them. They're not simple things that you just wear to cover up your body, blue jeans and a t-shirt or something, or a
blue jeans and a t-shirt.
A uniform that you wear to work or something. That's not really fashion. This is when you want to dress to impress. You want to dress to look cool, stylish, beautiful, something like that. That is what we talk about when we talk about fashion and the fashion business, the fashion world, or Julia works in the fashion industry. So maybe for a magazine, maybe for a designer, maybe she organizes those big fashion shows, but her life is involving clothes and design and beautiful artistry.
These lights were great at bringing out all the details on a new dress, and they had an interesting side effect. When a ring light was shown on a person's face, the light reflected in their eyes, which made their eyes look extra bright. That's the ring light glow.
Yeah, that is a nice special effect that ring lights do give your eyes, especially the big, beautiful eyes of fashion models and things like that. It says in recent years, LED ring lights have become popular for making social media videos because of their simplicity, utility, and low price.
Oh, they can get super cheap, like $200, $300, or $400 NT.
Wow, okay, very, very cheap. But like a lot of things, you know, technology has improved. Microchips in computers have gotten smaller and more powerful and cheaper too.
Yeah.
So what a fashion photographer might have paid thousands of dollars for back in the 60s, you can now buy a smaller but just as powerful and much cheaper version today. So that's a great thing, and that's why they've become very, very common.
Very popular.
On the internet. All right, guys, we'll take a break and then we'll be back.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课程要继续介绍 ring light 环形灯，也就是网美灯。Mike 老师一开始他有提到 Internet celebrity 用这个名词来指网红，那其中的 celebrity 是拼作 C-E-L-E-B-R-I-T-Y， 它是指名人名流的意思。好，那我们在第一天课文就读到说，第一个环形灯是由牙医发明的 Dr. Lester Dine 在1952年想出这个方法去拍摄他患者口腔当中的细节。那么到了1960年代啊，时尚摄影师使用了环形灯来为他们的拍摄提供干净清晰的光源。这些灯非常适合去凸显服装上的细节，而且啊，当这个环形灯照在人脸上时，光线会反射到眼睛里面，让这个眼睛看起来格外的明亮。好，那么近年来，由于 LED 环形灯简单实用，而且价格低廉，于是啊，在社群媒体影片拍摄这方面就变得很受欢迎咯。老师们就有聊到环形灯比较廉价的版本款式，可能几百块就买得到了。Mike 老师他用到 version 这个字 ，V-E-R-S-I-O-N version， 它表示版本、变种或者是形式。那么单字 fashion 它表示时尚、时装或者是时尚界。老师在解释单字时，他提到 artistic。A-R-T-I-S-T-I-C artistic 是形容艺术的，富有艺术性的。还有提到名词 artistry A-R-T-I-S-T-R-Y artistry 可以表达艺术性或是艺术造诣。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 because of 跟 because 的比较。Because of 跟 because 都可以用来说明原因，表示由于、因为。那么差别就在于 because of 是片语介系词，后面要接名词或动名词；那么 because 则是连接词，后面是要接子句。那我们就来看一组例句咯。The accident happened because of her carelessness. 意外发生是因为她粗心大意。那现在我们改用连接词 because 来改写，后面要接子句嘛，所以可以写作 The accident happened because she was careless. 好，接回课文中。
Simply place your ring light in front of your smartphone or computer camera, connect it to a power source, and then start shooting. They're also amazing for taking pictures of flat surfaces, like a drawing, or for shooting short videos that have your face as the focus. You can even change the color of the light to change the mood. And the best part about ring lights is that they're cheap. For a reasonable amount of money, you can take photos like a professional and make yourself look better than ever. Who wouldn't want to put their best face forward all the time?
All right, let's get back to the article on how to use a ring light. Simply place your ring light in front of your smartphone or computer camera, connect it to a power source, and then start shooting. It's very easy. First thing we have to do is connect, though. So when we talk about connect, in this case, we are talking about putting this power cord into the power socket so that we have battery. Connecting is bringing two things or two people together. So for example, I can connect with Mike on social media. For example, maybe we can communicate online or use message, and that's how we connect to one another. I have another sentence for you. A bridge connects the two cities. So it's one and the other, and we have a bridge in between. So a connection, that's the noun that's bringing together, and connecting is coming together.
Okay, so two separate things, but we're doing an action or using something to join them together now so that they work together as one. They're also amazing for taking pictures of flat surfaces like a drawing, or for shooting short videos that have your face as the focus. That's a really good point. Occasionally, I might have to take a picture of an ID card or a picture or something. And it's true, when you have the light here and you put the thing on the table and put your camera or your phone over it, there's a shadow.
There is.
Right? So it's kind of hard to not
dark.
have that shadow without having lots of lights around. If you have the ring light, you can put something on a flat surface. Very, very convenient. Also, a lot of people like to take pictures of food, and this would also be a good way of doing that without having a shadow because it's sitting on a flat surface, not on an angle or on a wall or something. Something flat is basically going parallel to the ground. So we're thinking of the top of a table or something like that will be flat. A floor in a building will probably be flat. If it's not, there'll be a step. But we don't see floors in buildings that usually, go up and down like a hill or like the earth does. No, it's usually one level. It doesn't go up or down. And usually it's on the same angle as the floor or other things that are also flat. If you're working in a kitchen, you don't want to be cutting your tomatoes on the wall. You want to be cutting your tomatoes on the counter or a table on a flat surface. For example, the road ahead is flat and straight. Maybe they're driving through a desert or across farmland or something, which is usually fairly flat.
And we have another word here, which is surface. This is a noun. It's the top of something. So for example, if you have a smooth surface, then something can glide through it very easily and it looks very nice and flat. But if it's a bumpy surface, then it might not be as nice to touch. The surface is just the top layer of something that we see or we can touch. For instance, the table surface is smooth. So this is one of those maybe wood tables with which we've used sandpaper to make it very nice and smooth so it's not all bumpy. Then that is the surface that we can see and we can touch. Okay, so back to the article. You can even change the color of the light to change the mood. Oh yeah, mood lighting is very important. Like yellower is softer, very white is like more serious. And the best part about ring lights is that they're cheap. Oh yeah, that's right. I would say maybe a good one could be like 500 NT. Not bad, right?
Right, but much cheaper than the old professional ones they used in fashion, that's for sure. For a reasonable amount of money, you can take photos like a professional and make yourself look better than ever. We're not saying you're not good looking. We know you guys are all beautiful people, but you want to be a little more beautiful? Get yourself a ring light.
Yeah.
And they don't cost too much and they're easy to use, so it sounds like a pretty good piece of equipment if you have any interest in putting your face out there on the internet or something like that. Who wouldn't want to put their best face forward all the time? Exactly right. Putting your best face forward is kind of presenting or showing yourself to the world in the best way possible. We can talk about putting our best foot forward, starting off in a good way. If you go to a job interview, you might put your best face forward, perform and act and seem to be the best type of person that you possibly can be. And all of this for a reasonable price. Something that is reasonable is not too crazy.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. It's sort of acceptable for most people, all right? We often use this when talking about prices of things or time of things. For example, the price of a phone might be reasonable if most average people can buy one. If I talk about flying on an airplane, a 2 or 3 or 4 hour flight is pretty reasonable.
Pretty reasonable.
But a lot of people go, oh, 18 hours on a plane? Oh, I don't want to do that. That's not quite so reasonable. It kind of goes beyond what people are comfortable with, what most people might go, okay, into areas that are like, I don't think so, because it's not quite as reasonable as something that you might accept more easily. Here's an example. The price of the phone is pretty reasonable. I mean, what's the price of a phone these days? $25,000, $30,000?
Or even 40.
It's almost getting unreasonable.
It is.
Yeah, it's getting a little
expensive.
beyond comfortable. All right, let's look at what do you think, our what do you think question is. Do you think using a ring light is necessary for social media success? Why or why not?
Ooh, I would say yes, it's definitely necessary if you want to do a lot of live streaming because people do look at the record of what you've posted, and it's important that you present yourself in a way that makes people want to see you. There's a lot of competition online, and so I think that if you want to stand out on a flat screen, you definitely need a ring light to make yourself look more 3D and more like beautiful than you are in real life.
Wow, there you go. Tips from a pro. All right, guys, get yourself a ring light if you're into that. It sounds like a good piece of equipment. But if you're not, that's fine too. You don't have to make videos to be a happy person, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you out there sometime. Until then, take care and bye-bye.
Bye.
好，那我们来看看环形灯要怎么使用。课文写到说，只要把环形灯放在智慧型手机或是电脑镜头前，把它接上电源，然后开始拍摄就可以咯。环形灯也非常适合用来拍摄平面照片，或者是呢拍摄以你的脸部为聚焦点的短片。你甚至也可以改变灯光的颜色来更换氛围。而环形灯最好的一点就是它便宜，你只需要花费合理的金额，就可以像专业人士一样拍照，让自己看起来更好看。谁不想一直表现出最好的一面呢？文中它用到 put one's best face forward， 就是表达用各种方式尽力让自己的面容好看。那有一个相关用语就是 put one's best foot forward， 这是表达说表现出最好的一面或是全力以赴的意思。好，那另外文中它用到 professional 当名词来指专业人士，我们其实也可以用 pro 就可以表达专家高手，它就是源自于 professional 这个字。再看到单字 connect， 它表示使连接、使接通 ，connect A to B 就可以表达把 A 接到 B。再来 flat， 它是形容平的、水平的。Surface 是指表面、表层或是台面。Reasonable 则是形容合理的、价钱公道的，也可以形容理智的、有道理的。它的相反词在前面加上 un 变成 unreasonable， 那就可以形容不合理的、不讲理的。好，这是一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 an amount of 加名词，可以表示许多或是一些什么什么。an amount of 后面呢，通常是接不可数名词，像是时间啊、金钱、水等等。那么 amount 前面还可以加入形容词，像 huge、small、large 等等来修饰。例如 a small amount of coffee was spilled on the floor， 少量的咖啡被打翻在地板上了。好，那比较一个用法就是修饰复数可数名词时，我们通常会用 a number of。那么 number 前面可以加入形容词 high、large、great 等等，去表达说许多的什么、大量的什么。举例来说 ，a large number of people in that country speak French。那个国家有许多人说法文。好，以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
By the 1960s, fashion photographers were using ring lights to get clean, clear light for their shoots. These lights were great at bringing out all the details on a new dress, and they had an interesting side effect. When a ring light was shone on a person's face, the light reflected in their eyes, which made their eyes look extra bright. In recent years, LED ring lights have become popular for making social media videos because of their simplicity, utility, and low price. Simply place your ring light in front of your smartphone or computer camera, connect it to a power source, and then start shooting. They're also amazing for taking pictures of flat surfaces, like a drawing, or for shooting short videos that have your face as the focus. You can even change the color of the light to change the mood. And the best part about ring lights is that they're cheap. For a reasonable amount of money, you can take photos like a professional and make yourself look better than ever. Who wouldn't want to put their best face forward all the time?
today we're going to take you to Daojiang Canal. Daojiang Canal has a long history in Jiayi. Many villagers use the water from Daojiang Canal to irrigate crops. And this canal has undergone a lot of changes in the last 300 years. So in today's lesson, we'll learn a lot of history about this canal. So let's go.
Daojiang Canal has a long history in Jiayi. It was the first hydraulic engineering system built in 1687 during the Qing dynasty. Its main purpose was to irrigate crops. In the old days, there was no irrigation system. The water for irrigation mainly depended on rain. But if farmers only depended on it, this would cause difficulty in irrigation and unsteady harvest. In 1687, in order to improve agricultural development, Admiral Xi Lang started construction of a hydraulic engineering system called the Jiangjun Canal. In 1695, some local gentry from Pimajiao, Taibao village donated money to build a new canal, Daoye Canal, to have more regions for irrigation. In 1715, Zhou Zhongquan, a Zhulo county magistrate, produced a large amount of crops in the Jiayi area by building the Zhulo Mountain Reservoir and leading the water from the Bajiang River to Daoye Canal and Jiangjun Canal. In 1923, the authorities merged Daoye Canal and Jiangjun Canal into Daojiang Canal. So far, the irrigated area of Daojiang Canal is about 1,300 hectares. The water source of Daojiang Canal mainly comes from the Bajiang River and its tributary, the Qilan River. In 1923, because water from the Bajiang River was led to Lantan Lake, there was no water for Daojiang Canal. Therefore, an underground catchwater was built to deliver the water of the Qilan River to the Bajiang River. And then, with the headworks method, the water gates would lead the water flowing into Daojiang Canal. Daojiang Canal goes past downtown Jiayi. Daojiang Canal passes through Fangcao Village, Anliao Village, and Meiyuan Village. Daoye Canal starts from Meiyuan Village and flows into Chongqing Road and Minsheng Park. Jiangjun Canal flows from Xinmin Campus of National Jiayi University and Xingjia Elementary School. The water quality of Daojiang Canal is a big problem. Some of the factories and farms are near the origin of the Bajiang River, which may cause ecological pollution. Because of urban development, this leads to no separation for irrigation and drainage and domestic wastewater from both sides of the canal flowing into Daojiang Canal. These situations may cause food safety and health problems. In order to improve the water quality of Daojiang Canal, some locals, officials, scholars, and college students gathered together to discuss the solution. They decided to implement community development and actively proposed methods to improve and preserve culture, which will be implemented for at least more than 10 years. There are many scenic spots that are worth preserving along Daojiang Canal. They include Jingse culture, wetland landscape, and Yuliao evacuation spot. Da Shizuo introduced new techniques for conservation of water and soil and marketing concepts. It is a good example of environmental education with agriculture landscapes in Jiayi City. Yuliao evacuation spot was discovered during an agricultural survey in 1940. This also unveiled a story about kings of the three mountains and villagers conserving the canal. With the authorities and locals' help, a detention wetland was built and was a good example of water control and ecological conservation. Many villages use the water from Daojiang Canal to irrigate crops. Daojiang Canal has experienced a lot of changes in these 300 years. But the one thing that hasn't changed is the cultural assets and ecology that coexists with it. And these assets will be passed on to the next generation.
If you're a history lover, I'm sure you enjoyed our lesson today on Daojiang Canal. So next time if you visit, you'll remember all the things that you have learned today. Now, this is all the time we have for today, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.